Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Welcome to the Real Female Entrepreneurs. Today's guest is proof that vitality doesn't fade with age. It's getting fiercer and fiercer. She's a board certified nurse coach, functional wellness educator, and the Ageless Vitality expert. With over 30 years in healthcare, she traded quick fixes for root cause healing, helping women reclaim their energy, balance hormones. Oh, please help me balance them and thrive through midlife. She blends science, yoga, and functional medicine into a holistic approach that's passionate and powerful. Her mission is to show women that midlife is not the end, it's the glow up time. So please help me welcome the unstoppable Beth Wold. Welcome, Beth.
Thank you so much, Angel. That was very nice of you. I loved everything you said. I appreciate that. It makes me sound really nice.
Well, you are. Oh my word. Helping women through midlife. Oh, I say this every now and then. I remember when I was going through the menopause and my husband woke up, and I can't believe I'm starting this like this. He actually said, "Did you just pee in the bed?" And I had to tell him, "No, no, it's these hot things."
Oh my gosh, the hot flash hit big time.
It did. It did. And then I would sit with clients and then I would literally have sweat dripping off of me during the winter and it's 30, 40 degrees. And they're like, "Honey, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
It's called perimenopause.
Mhm.
And it can last for a long time.
Oh my God, it can. I,
Yes.
so I want to know what sparked and made you flip that switch from being a nurse coach to what you do now. Something had to happen in your life because that's how this works.
Mhm. Yeah, as with everybody's story, I would have to say, it's a little pieces here and there that you finally put together when you grow up, and then you kind of are figuring it out. And that's kind of what happened with me. I'm a product of the late 80s. And so back then in our area, everything was still a little conservative. So, you went to school to be a teacher or nurse. And I thought I would like nursing better. So I'm going to check that out. So just went through the process, and really decided I loved it. And what I loved most is there were so many choices that I could do, and that's what my career was. I did labor and delivery. I did school nurse. I did clinic nursing. I was a professor at a college of nursing for a while. Just a wide variety of things. And I was always looking for what I'm supposed to do when I grow up. Everything, I enjoyed, but I wanted to move on to something else always. So I was trying to figure all that out. But so after 37 years of actual nursing, I was a CNA and then a registered nurse and helping people. I decided I need something to look back at me. It helping people is my passion, but it also takes a lot out of you. And so I was burnt out. I had completely got burnt out and I needed to look for something else. And so that's kind of when I started thinking about different things. But before that happened, I ended up getting really sick, and I had no idea why. I was never an athlete by any means, but I would take my two kids, throw them in a stroller, and we would go walking up and down the town for like an hour every day or on the treadmill. It was something that was just routine for us. I got to a point where I couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs with a bag of groceries, and I had to stop and pause and gasp for air. And I did not know what was wrong, but that was the moment I decided I need to get help. So we do what we normally think we should do, right? We go to the doctor, we tell them what's going on, and we get fixed. So went to the doctor. She was great. She drew my labs. She noticed I was hypothyroid. I had hypothyroidism, and my vitamin B12 was almost non-existent. I mean, like, literally, I was about dead in the energy cycle. So anyway, she gave me some threw some meds at me for my thyroid. And then I was supposed to take these shots of vitamin B12 every 2 weeks. And till I guess forever, I wasn't told, and I said, well, what's going on? Why is it so low? Well, we'll send you to a specialist so you can, learn all those kind of things. So the first specialist I went to was nice, but did not get the answers I wanted. He looked at me at the end of our assessment and said, I think it's all in your head.
Ooh.
And I I was so mad. I hardly have the words to say of how I felt. I walked out of there. I was bawling. I was frustrated. I was devastated, and definitely did not feel heard at all. Went back to my general practitioner, and she said, okay, we'll send you somewhere else. So I went to another specialist 4 hours away, hoping to get a much better everything. He said, your labs are all normal. You look normal. He's like, I guess I could diagnose you with fibromyalgia, but you're going to have to learn to live with it anyway. And I said, no, thanks. Goodbye. So once again, I went through that whole thing. And me being a nurse, I thought, okay, are they talking to me because they know I'm a nurse and that, they can just say things like that and I'm not going to get offended? Or do they say that to everyone? And how does that make others feel? So that was the beginning of kind of the holistic journey for me. I knew I had to take my health into my own hands because obviously I wasn't getting help. I had been in nursing over 20 years at that point, and the profession, it was drowning me. It was, making me sick, and it wouldn't help me get better. So that was one of the big turning points. What I started looking at in the holistic realm is nutrition, exercise, all the things, we're supposed to do, but not really understand necessarily because they don't focus on it as far as root causes, things like that. So I thought back to when my daughter, she was 2 years old when she was diagnosed with celiac disease. And for those who don't know what celiac disease is when your body doesn't have a protein that helps break down gluten in your body. So it just causes continued inflammation, pain, all that. So she was 2. It was very hard to diagnose because she was only 2. She's now 20. So she's had it her whole life. And we worked with her through all that. But what I noticed was the only treatment that you can do is eat differently. And nutrition had a big piece of that. And we had to learn how to eat gluten-free, which is definitely possible. And that cured her. I mean, she still has the disease, but that's how we live. And I thought, if it can do that for her, what can nutrition do for the rest of us, right? So I started looking into that and got really excited about what the possibilities were. And then we had some tragedy in our family. We had 4 years of pretty rough times with, trauma, things like that. And the final straw kind of was in 2019 when my stepson Logan passed away and he was 22 years old. He had a history of seizures, so he was medicated, he was doing his meds, he was showing up at his doctor's appointments, he was doing all the right things. One day he just didn't wake up. And so that was very, very traumatic. That was when I first decided I might need to look into other types of nursing or different career completely. Because when it was time to go back after my bereavement, and the United States has a whole couple days for bereavement, but my colleagues were very kind to me. I had more than that. But when I went back and stepped into that hospital, it was the same hospital, and it was the same hospital that my mother passed away in 1983. I I could barely breathe.
Mm.
I my the life just got sucked out of me. And I knew right then and there something needed to change. And that's what brought me into nurse coaching. I started figuring out what I could do from home that wouldn't be so stressful and make me work all odd hours and crazy hours. I wanted to be more present for me, for my family, and think about self-care for the first time. And so that's really what brought me to nurse coaching.
Wow. Yeah. So things happen in life for a reason. So
Mhm.
I am allergic to all kinds of foods, and it didn't happen
Oh, wow.
until they gave me thyroid medicine, and I became allergic to thyroid medicine and acquired Steven Johnson syndrome because of being allergic to medicine. I don't know if you know what that is. A lot of nurses don't, so it's fine. My mom did.
I've heard of it, but I haven't studied it. So
It's
no,
a
not really.
it 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 it's an allergic reaction to medicine, and I mean my skin burned off my body. Thank God it affects organs. Thank God it just affected my skin organ. So I was blessed, but
Oh,
any type of medicine can make it trigger at any time. So I had to learn how not to take medicine and to do food and see what I'm allergic to. And I still have bouts with trying to figure out, okay, what am I allergic to and what I'm not allergic to because I can eat something and my face just sort of poofs up with inflamed. So
wow.
yeah. So so I agree with you 100% with the food aspect. And your daughter said, did that change all of your diet and how you guys functioned when you had to do that?
Yes, it really did because there's so much cross contamination. And even if there's like a crumb of gluten that you can't even see with your eyes, that will affect her and that can cause her stomach, it might not show as pain or she may not get sick, but it's still eating away at her intestines and her body. So, which could lead to cancer, infertility, all those rotten things. So yes, we decided to basically get most of the gluten out of the house and just have things and make only, pasta that was gluten free and all that. So there was no chance of cross contamination. We got new pots and pans, we got new spatulas, all of that because of cross contamination. And studied and studied list after list of finding things that she would enjoy,
Oh,
and we could still make. But the funny thing is, at 2 years old, I remember like before she was diagnosed, she was getting really picky with her food. And I thought, oh, this isn't going to be good. I don't want my kids being picky. So I put something on her plate, like give her a piece of toast for breakfast or, some macaroni and cheese for lunch, just normal kid stuff. She wouldn't eat it. She would go to the fridge and get out usually cheese or carrots or an apple. Come to find out, those are all gluten free. She knew at the age of 2 what her body could handle and what it couldn't. And I just think if we were more in tune with our bodies, if we weren't always so go, go, go all the time, if we, take time to really feel our body, what it would tell us.
wow. Yeah, holistically, it's just the way to go. And I mean, you've proven that. So, bringing it forward, explain what you do right now, if you don't mind bringing it forward, how you help women midlife and what it does for them.
Well, and back to when I was dismissed by the specialist, I wanted to see if other people were feeling that way because coaching was a way to help that. I didn't have to talk to more than two people before I found somebody that's been told the same thing. And I knew that this was going to be something I needed to do. I have some information for you that can help you, that won't harm you, and I need to share it with you.
Mhm.
So I started coaching, we have to put on 12 heads then, or hats, because we have to be a marketer and we have to learn how the web works and, social media I'd never worked with. So it was just a lot of change. And I was figuring out what exactly how I want to do everything, developing programs, things like that. And it came to be that my husband lost his job, so we ended up having to move, and that was really stressful. And so during that time, I did a lot of soul searching, trying to figure out exactly what I want to do. While that was all going on, my daughter, she graduated from high school and decided to go to college, and it's about 5 hours away from where we live. And so last year, it was in 24, she graduated, brought her down to college, dropped her off on a Sunday, and I was a mess. I was you say hot mess. I was a hot mess. I could not stop crying. My husband thought I was nuts, and he's like, "What am I going to do with this lady? She can't do anything anymore." And so terrible. And so the next day was Monday. I went to the mailbox and I pulled out a box, and I forgot. And I thought, oh, I forgot I ordered these. They're hormone balancing drops that a friend that I knew and trusted, sent me, or, asked if I would purchase. And I said, certainly, I trust you. I'll do it, being very skeptical, like this stuff never works, But I really need something right now because I can't keep my eyes from crying. So I took the product, and by the next day, my anxiety was so low. My mood was so much better. I had slept through the night. And I called my daughter and said, I'm actually happy for you. This is your time, and then this is my time. We're going to make it. And she thought I was nuts, of course. But yeah, so that started a journey of, okay, there's something out there that helps women, with their energy, with, food cravings, with all the things that, we just talked about. And I'm like, I think people need to know about this. And so, I studied it really well. That's a nurse in me. Really need science backing. We have medical directors. I was looking into that. All of those things. And the products were safe and effective. And I thought there was no way I felt selfish if I didn't share that information. So they're homeopathic, all the products are. So is what makes them so safe and helpful to other people. So I started using the drops, and then I started leaning in more to Partner Co. and their culture. And I thought, nursing is never been like this. Like, people just want to help you. They're so positive. They're coming out of the woodwork to say, what can I do for you? And everybody's on everybody's side, even if, we're not on the same team. We're all one team. And I just thought that was amazing. Like, no job could really do that. Well, it does. It's there, and it's still been there. And I just leaned further and further into it and realized this is where I was supposed to be my whole life. I just didn't know it. And it all came to a head. And so I started promoting it, and women just went crazy. It actually works. We have thousands and thousands of testimonies because the product that the hormone drops are 14 years old, but people are just now starting to hear about them. So, we have the longevity, but we all, so we have all those testimonials, but it's also new. So that's kind of the story behind the main product that I tried, and that's how that got started.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So, what you've all learned through this whole process, what would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self to jumpstart the curve
Oh,
so it's
you
a
know,
little
there's
bit easier?
Yeah, yes. I would, well, I'd give her a big hug probably and say I love you because like many of us, I didn't grow up in a normal family. My mom had passed away, so my dad was trying to raise us the best he could, and he did well, but there was that female figure was not there. So, I would just say, live in the present because you're supposed to be having fun at that time in your life and not constantly thinking about, what you want to do or who you want to be. That's where what I was busy. I was wanting to be an adult all the time. And I would totally recommend people just live in the present and do what they need to do. There's so much pressure in society right now, like do, and get a scholarship for this, be the best in that, do a million things so that you're eligible to join this organization. All those things matter, but living in the moment is really, really what's going to change your life in a good way.
Yeah. So, talking about change, and let's talk about a game changer in your business. What's like a decision
Mhm.
or habit or strategy that actually shifted your business to grow? That maybe you thought maybe that's not going to help, but it did.
Mhm. Um, I would say, like most people, it's probably a lot of small things. There wasn't one time, one thing besides it working that really, you know, I love self-development, and in this entrepreneurial position, you have to be self-motivated and you have to learn to love yourself and figure out what you don't necessarily love because that's going to hold you back. And I find that has really been one of the funnest parts of it is learning more about myself, healing some of that stuff. And then it's just about talking to people, networking really is just talking to people. And some people make it scary, think it's weird, but we talk to each other like, oh, so what kind of skincare do you use? Because you look really young. I want to use that. We go, we go, to a place to eat. What do? We share it because we loved it or we hated it. We just are constantly communicating, talking. That's networking. So it's nothing to be scared of. And when I put that into perspective and decided I really need to help women in a different way, that's when things really started blooming and people just actually came to me on social media and I've been developing awesome relationships and meeting so many cool people.
Yeah, that relationship is key, is just talking to people, building a rapport.
Mhm.
That's it. That's it. I
Mhm.
love that. And I
Mhm.
love the fact that you
Yep.
said lots of little mini habits for the simple reason that don't you even find that those little mini things that you did, even if it didn't work out, it brought you to something closer.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
I
Small steps lead to big transformations.
step by step. All right. So let's talk
Mhm.
step by step. So people get in there, they get in, they start their business and they go, "Oh yeah. I know this is it for entrepreneurship. I know this." And but it's only a myth that they hear. And
Mhm.
it really doesn't work. So what is a myth that you wish we would just kick to the curb and not believe?
Well, there's several, I think. One of them definitely is that we're on this trajectory of where we have to go to school, college, get a job, move up the ranks, and constantly trade our time for money. And I know that's a little cliche, but it truly is. Like, I would work really, really hard. I always wanted to do my best for the patients, but I also wanted to get that raise. And every year I would work really hard for a 4 cent an hour raise, literally. And you think, all right, in the beginning because you're getting paid, but when you've gone through it and getting burnt out, you're like, there has to be something more than this. Why isn't somebody telling us there's other ways to, run a business, to, do different things? So that's probably the biggest myth is, that you have to do these things, you have to go to college, because that's not the route for everybody. And if you want to really make it in the world, you want to have your own business or you want to develop something on your own, because in a hospital, there's only one person at the top, and then the doctors, and then it, fizzles down. So you're kind of at the bottom of the feeding chain. So your income isn't ever going to really increase to the level you may want it to. But when you do a business on your own and you stay motivated, you stay present, you stay helping yourself to get better, it's amazing what can happen, not just financially, but with yourself and with the changes in your life as well.
So I have done network marketing, I've done direct sales before, I've done things like that and successful and loved every minute of it. And I love when people would come to me and say, that is a pyramid scheme. And I'm like, let's look at your job.
Exactly.
You just said it.
Exactly.
You have the person at the top and it comes down. So and some people might decide to hang up on this. I don't care. Just know that it all works, guys. It doesn't matter which way, if you're an employee or you're going to own your own business or you're going to be in a network marketing or a direct sales company. They all work. It's how you work it. That's key.
Right.
Yeah.
The business models are so different, and you do have to go out of your comfort zone to learn that.
Mhm.
And you don't get breakthroughs without breakdowns.
No.
So
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You wouldn't have found that. You wouldn't have probably took the hormone drops that you took if it wasn't you were going through something. You had to go through something.
exactly.
Mhm. Love
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
All right, let's
hmm
talk about balancing owning your own business with the creative chaos of life. So we have two chaos things. Business can be chaotic, life can be chaotic. How do you balance it, or is there a way to?
Yeah. Everybody talks about, balance as far as like boundaries. You have to set your boundaries. And I'm kind of just real structural. I'm thinking boundaries. Okay, what does that mean? How do I implement that? Because, I can't just tell my 2-year-old that, I'm tired, I can't deal with them right now. So really what it is developing priorities. And you have to think at all sides of the priorities. And it doesn't mean that if you put family first, you have to attend all their events, all their everything. It means that you need to be there when it's most important for the child, and determining when and what that is for you. So instead of maybe staying late one night because it's the Christmas concert, you go to the Christmas concert and that's the right decision. Another time, your child's not going to be playing in the sport and just going to be an observer, you stay at work. That's what boundaries is deciding what's most important. And usually it's faith, family, health, hopefully is one. And those are kind of the main ones that I think about. So that's kind of how I think about life. And then I call it beautiful chaos, because life is chaos no matter what stage of life you are in, no matter what's going on. So it's just finding that balance. Sometimes I do it well, sometimes I don't. And when I don't, instead of getting down on myself and, thinking, what in the world, I really truly try and learn why did this happen and what can I learn from it?
I love asking that question to you guys because I'm going to be honest with everybody. I suck at it. I suck at balance. I just want to
I
learn
think we
from
all
you
probably
guys.
could improve.
All right. So we have a woman. She's standing on the edge of, I'm going to start my business, but
Mhm.
she's afraid. What would you
Mhm.
suggest to her?
That is one of the biggest things that I would love to share with all women is fear is actually something our body is supposed to do. It's in our DNA. You know, our body automatically goes into fight and flight when we get nervous about something, about we're doing something we haven't done before. But that kicks in your cortisol so you do better. You pay attention to what's going on and work harder towards it instead of letting it overtake you. And, you know, there's everything, no matter what you do in life, there's going to be fear, anxiety, new things, new changes. Nothing stays the same. So it's about embracing that change, taking those small steps, moving forward, and then, you know, the rest of it'll fall into place.
Just do it.
Exactly. And do it messy. You know, there's, you know, if you wait for your perfectionism to take over, you'll never do anything and you will not have a happy life. You just need to do it.
I can tell you if I ever waited for it to be perfect, it would never have happened, any of it.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm. I love that.
unfortunately, life is learn as we go. It's not, oh, it's this is the
It
road to
is.
take and it's perfect. It's a learn as we go experience
Mhm.
every step.
Completely. I love that.
I wish I had
Hmm.
a magic
Hmm.
wand and go poof and it's all perfect. I'd be so happy. I had to learn that
Yeah.
it's not and to give myself permission to have it not.
That's right. Giving yourself permission is probably the biggest piece of that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I can tell
I
you every
agree.
magazine I probably look at and go, "Oh my god, I shoulda did this." But and then I stop shouldn't because we shouldn't on ourselves. So there you go. All right, give us
It's a mental game, isn't it? Just trying to tell yourself what you should think and not what you're actually thinking because your subconscious mind is so in there trying to get control of you. Hmm.
yeah.
Exactly.
It's just chapping
Exactly.
away on both sides. It's almost like a
Hmm.
devil on one side, an angel on the other, can we say?
Correct. Hmm. Yep, one on each shoulder. Hmm.
All right, give us a sneak peek into what's coming with you and your business.
Well, I have developed and founded Rock Your Paws. And I love that name because it to me it explains everything. Rock your pause. Perimenopause can last a long time. It can start in your 30s and last till your 60s. You know, menopause is only that one day when you haven't had a period for 12 months. And if you know, go 6 months and have a period, it starts all over again. So everybody talks about menopause, but really the world is talking about perimenopause and postmenopause mostly. And so Rock Your Pause focuses in on all of it. And under that umbrella, it's in a newborn stage, but I have a group on Facebook with that name and I'm developing new things. I want to teach face yoga. I've gotten certified for that. Actual yoga, do chair exercises, things like that. I got certified in that. I just want to bring everything from my experiences and from my nursing into helping women the best we can naturally in the most safe way.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Face yoga is amazing, guys.
Mhm.
Amazing. Oh my God. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
All right.
I need to
Unexpected.
do it more
Oh, I do too.
though.
So tell us one thing about you that's going to surprise us and wow us that we wouldn't think you would have done.
I would probably have to say, you know, you think I listen to a lot of podcasts, YouTubes, all that self-development I was talking about. But when I get into my car and take short trips, my radio, my Sirius radio is on channel 39 called Hair Nation. And I don't know if you know Hair Nation, but it's the glam metal of 80s and 90s. And that is where I go back to.
So I used to manage Sirius XM right after Katrina. So as you know, I live in New Orleans. So I managed them a little bit here. And so yeah, I'm really popular, really know Sirius XM and all of that.
That's awesome.
So
That's
that's cool
awesome.
if you like that music. All right, talking about music and what you listen to. What are those songs that you love? Come on, we know they're in Hair Nation, so come on.
Well, ironically, you would think that, but it's hard to pick just one of all those, like last week I got to see Def Leppard again for the first time in 32 years, and it was the best concert. But back to, what songs I like to listen to, I have a lot of memories with Dancing Queen by ABBA.
Mhm.
And that song instantly lifts me up and I start moving. And so if I ever need an uplift, that's the song I'm going to go to. I will hit some Poison and Def Leppard and Guns N' Roses after that, but that's the big one song. The one that I feel like I follow, like explains me a little bit, is The Warrior. That was by Scandal and Patti Smythe way back in the 80s, of course. And the warrior, that's really me. I keep fighting and fighting and fighting to get beyond, not be afraid, and learn more. And right now in Partner Co, my team that I'm a part of is called the Warrior Movement. And it's just pretty ironic how things kind of end up turning into itself. And so that's kind of my mantra of songs is warrior.
All right. What about a favorite book or books?
I was introduced to a book about 5 years ago called Happiness Now, and it's by Robert Holden. I'll show. This is what
Okay.
it looks like.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is it's practical, but it's also spiritual. We talk about, when we're going to be happy. I'll be happy when I graduate from college and have a real job. I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when I have a child. And he explains and debunks all those myths. Like, you need to be happy right now in the point that you are,
Mm.
and says don't listen to your self-limiting head. Don't listen to what our parents were trying to tell us to help us, not get hurt, things like that, but to do things. And joy doesn't need to be earned. You don't have to do something to be happy. It's not selfish to do self-care. It's all those things that we hear. Learn to be happy. It's a great book. It's one you can read over and over again and get lots of great tidbits in it. So I highly recommend that.
Awesome. Awesome. What about a favorite quote or quotes?
I know there's so many great philosophers out there that really, really say some great things, but I'm pretty simple. I like to keep things simple so I can get them done. So, I like Jim Rohn, I like Rob Speary, all those, kind of anchor network marketing people. But my favorite quote really is, "You don't know what you don't know." And that's been true in, my entire life, because there's so many things out there. As a nurse, I don't know really anything about marketing, or I don't know anything about accounting, all those things. You can learn a little, but you never quite get deep into it like you would if that was your career. And even yesterday, I met somebody on a networking group. We had a session. It was wonderful. She was a great person. And she told me that coaches can go into this like program, and it's already set up for us. Everything is done for you. And I thought, that's always been a dream of mine, like that everybody take care of all that, insurance and, all that kind of stuff. I just want to do the coaching. And there is something out there like that. I had no idea. So every day, just keep your ears and eyes open, and you'll learn something new and something that will be advantageous to you.
You do. So, okay, learning something new. Okay. So if
Mhm.
you could have a superpower for 24 hours, what would it be? And I want you to add, using that, what would you learn?
Ooh, you're making me really think hard. Um, I kind of see life as if I had like sparkles. If I could just, grab a wand and throw sparkle all over people around the whole United States all at once, so they could see what real joy and happiness is. A lot of people haven't necessarily experienced that in peace within themselves. But if they had 24 hours of learning what life really is supposed to be about, that would encourage them to maybe reach out further, to dream a little more, to do a little more, and become a happier person in the end. What I would learn from that is I would have the superpower to be able to look at somebody and say, "Oh, you need this support for this. You just need me to listen to you. I'm here." It would allow me to see thousands of people, very quickly because I could just tell what they needed to make joy in their life.
Fairy godmother for 24 hours. Boom, sparkle.
Yep. I love sparkles.
All right. Sometimes we run on empty. We do.
Mhm.
And we need a little motivation. What is it that gets you motivated? What do you do?
Talk to people. Our first thought is I want to, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I can't do anything. I'm just going to go lay down. And sometimes we need that nap, right? We need that resurgence of energy. But a lot of times it's just once you get talking with somebody who you have a connection with, it all kind of goes away. And so by just getting back into action and doing what you need to do is the best medicine. Really, it is.
That's awesome. All right. What is the best way for our audience to stay connected with you?
There's a couple ways. Mentioned that my Facebook group that we just is in infancy called Rock Your Paws. So you can go to facebook.com/groups/Rock Your Paws. That's my group. You can find me on Facebook. My full name is Beth Britt Wold, and you can just find me there. My tag is Beach for Beth. BEACH, the number 4, Beth. So that shows where my life and dreams are at the beach, right? And then I offer all women free consultations, free discovery calls, get to know each other, whatever you want to call it, because you don't know what you don't know. So you don't know if you're going to have a connection or not. So you don't want to waste money maybe on talking with somebody that isn't going to do anything for you. I might not be the right person for you. So, excuse me. So I offer free calls. I have a Calendly link that we can share. And lastly, I have a link that goes to my business as well, and my business at Partner Co. And it has all the products that you need to help feel better and not be worried about what you're taking. The supplements are all safe. They're at therapeutic levels. They're not going to harm you. You're not going to just pee them out. There's just so many products, including those hormone balancing drops that are awesome.
And you told me earlier there was like this one that's a belly slimmer. Can you tell us about that one a little bit?
Yes, that's called AB Vantage, AB Vantage. And it's just a couple little pills. You take 2 a day. So it's super, super simple. But what it focuses on is, keeping your muscle. We're always worried about losing our muscle, but getting rid of that fat. And it gets rid of that white fat, which is your bad fat around your organs, the visceral fat that we talk about that causes chronic diseases. So it increases the burning of the brown fat, which is the good fat, and so that energy goes into taking out the white fat. And so it slims you, And it helps obviously decrease your BMI and all those other things that that we worry about with chronic disease, metabolic syndrome, all the things.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, okay. I'll be on it, and everybody's just gonna have to see how it works. So no big deal. Give us a mic drop moment to leave our audience with. What would you like to share with them?
I think the biggest thing is you're not alone. There's women out there that want to talk to you, that want to listen to you, that you're not being dismissed, that you're not crazy. You know, that was just such a devastating time for me, and I don't want any other woman to feel that. And luckily I had resources to help me. Some women don't. So I just want them to know, no matter what it is, what they're thinking, what's going on, they can call me. We can set up an appointment and talk through it. I'm not the be all do all, but I have connections and I'm here to help. You are not alone in this. What you're feeling is true. And I wish everybody a happy life.
Thank you so much, Beth. You're amazing, and thanks for being on.
Thank you. It was a joy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.